After making a flurry of moves to start NBA free agency earlier this week, the Los Angeles Lakers may not be done, as the team could be on the verge of adding a significant piece to its roster. The Lakers have two priorities moving forward, which are adding a backup center following the DeAndre Ayton trade and signing another wing. Although Rui Hachimura remains unsigned and may still be an option for the Lakers, the storied franchise reportedly has made signing Jonathan Kuminga a priority, according to Kobe Price of the California Post. On the wings, the Lakers are still exploring adding Jonathan Kuminga to their roster. Kuminga is drawing interest from other teams, but the unrestricted free agent forward is a significant priority for the Lakers. With Kuminga becoming a priority, it's safe to assume that the prospect of Hachimura returning to the team is unlikely, to say the least. NBA insider Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report made that abundantly clear on Saturday. Rui Hachimura, to my understanding, is not a priority to the Lakers, Fisher said during a Bleacher Report livestream. It just does not appear like the Lakers are looking to bring Rui back at all. Fisher expanded on those comments elsewhere, painting a much fuller picture of how the front office's thinking has evolved. The Lakers, to my understanding, were very in on Kuminga yesterday. They've maintained contact there. There's definitely a pitch that's been made about the opportunity he could have to help Luka Doncic contend in the Western Conference, Fisher said, before adding that forward Trey Lyles had also been on Los Angeles' radar before he agreed to sign with Minnesota earlier the same day. So Jonathan Kuminga, to my understanding, is the Lakers' top choice right now at the wing spot of all the guys left on the board. If this turns out to be true, the youth movement in Los Angeles continues, with Kuminga being significantly younger than the veteran sharpshooter. Hachimura, 28, is 5 years older than Kuminga, 23, which could be part of the reason he's the priority over the Japanese forward. That gap in timeline appears to matter quite a bit to a Lakers front office that has undergone a dramatic transformation since LeBron James's departure. With Doncic now firmly established as the centerpiece of the franchise, President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka has spent much of the offseason reshaping the roster around younger players who better fit the organization's new timeline, and Kuminga's age, athleticism, and defensive versatility line up closely with that vision. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride for Kuminga over the past couple of years, as he basically forced his way out of San Francisco. The Golden State Warriors traded Kuminga to the Atlanta Hawks ahead of the NBA trade deadline last season, but he didn't play much with his new team due to a knee issue, suiting up for only 16 regular season games for the Hawks before having his $24.3 million team option declined recently, making him an unrestricted free agent. Across his combined 36 appearances split between Golden State and Atlanta last season, Kuminga averaged 12.2 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game, while shooting 46.3% from the field and 33.3% from beyond the arc, numbers that reflect a talented but still unrefined offensive player. He reportedly did play his best basketball of the year during Atlanta's first-round playoff series loss to the New York Knicks, offering a glimpse of the two-way upside that has always made him such an intriguing, if frustrating, prospect since Golden State selected him 7th overall in the 2021 draft. So even though Kuminga is the younger and more athletic option, who is arguably a better defender than Hachimura, he still comes with concerns. Health, obviously, is number one, as he hasn't played more than 47 games over the past 2 seasons. Beyond the injury history, some evaluators around the league have also questioned his consistency and focus, with reports circulating that his defensive effort has been uneven at times, and that he may prefer chasing a bigger offensive role rather than fully committing to a well-rounded, two-way part in a contending team's rotation. Those same questions dogged him throughout his final stretch in Golden State, where head coach Steve Kerr benched him for periods before the trade to Atlanta was finalized in February. If the Lakers can get Kuminga on a cheap deal, which would likely need to be the case for Los Angeles, it could turn out to be one of the best moves of the team's offseason. It's a low-risk, high-reward situation, and may add another important piece alongside superstar Luka Doncic. According to Bleacher Report's own reporting, the most the Lakers can currently offer Kuminga is a veteran's minimum salary worth roughly $2.9 million given his 5 years of NBA service. A modest figure compared to what he might command elsewhere if another team is willing to take a bigger swing on his upside. Fisher has indicated that both the Cleveland Cavaliers and Milwaukee Bucks maintain real interest in Kuminga as well, with a possible reunion in Atlanta also not entirely out of the question, since the Hawks reportedly have not ruled out re-signing him, even after declining his option, and could still explore a sign-and-trade scenario if a third team gets involved. The decision to lean toward Kuminga over Hachimura is notable given how well Hachimura performed in his most recent season with the Lakers. The 6'8" forward averaged 11.5 points, 3.3 rebounds, 0.8 assists, 0.6 steals, and 0.3 blocks per game, while shooting an excellent 51.4% from the field and 44.3% from three-point range, numbers that made him arguably the Lakers' most reliable outside shooter last season. He has been a key rotation piece since arriving via trade from the Washington Wizards back in 2023, providing floor spacing, physicality, and positional versatility that earned him the trust of multiple coaching staffs, including current head coach J.J. Redick. Given the outside shooting and scoring threats already present in Doncic and Austin Reeves, losing a floor spacer of Hachimura's caliber would represent a real trade-off for a Lakers team that has otherwise prioritized shooting throughout the offseason. That trade-off has not gone unnoticed among rival suitors. According to Mark Stein and Jake Fisher of the Stein line, both the Minnesota Timberwolves and Hachimura's former team, the Golden State Warriors, are expected to be heavily involved in the pursuit of the 28-year-old forward if the Lakers ultimately move on. His continued availability deep into free agency has led some league sources to speculate that Los Angeles could still be exploring alternate paths to bringing him back, whether through a trade elsewhere on the roster or by using the stretch provision on a player like Jared Vanderbilt or DeAndre Ayton to create the extra room needed to make a competitive offer. For now, though, all indications point toward Kuminga as the far more likely outcome. Complicating the Lakers' broader offseason math is the fact that their preferred fallback plan at backup center has also grown murkier in recent days. After agreeing to trade Ayton to the Washington Wizards on Friday, the Lakers reportedly lost out on another potential replacement later that same day when veteran big man Andre Drummond committed to the New York Knicks instead, a team that had also previously shown interest in free agent center Kevin Looney before completing the Drummond deal. That leaves Looney, along with Denver's Jonas Valanciunas, whose $10 million salary for next season carries just a $2 million guarantee through July 8th, as the two most realistic remaining options for Los Angeles at the position, according to Stein and Fisher. Whatever direction the front office ultimately goes on both fronts, wing and front court, the clear through line of the Lakers' approach this summer has been a deliberate shift toward younger, cheaper, higher upside talent that fits alongside Doncic's timeline, rather than doubling down on proven, steady veterans who may already be past their peak. Kuminga, for all his inconsistency and health concerns, fits that timeline in a way Hachimura, older and already established in his role, simply does not. Whether that bet pays off will depend heavily on both his health holding up over a full season and his willingness to embrace exactly the kind of complementary, two-way role that has eluded him so far in his young career. The financial gymnastics required to make any of this work also shouldn't be understated. After an active start to free agency that included agreements with Colin Sexton, Quentin Grimes, and Sandro Mamukelashvili, along with the earlier sign-and-trade for center Walker Kessler, the Lakers reportedly have very little cap flexibility remaining, which is precisely why a minimum salary flyer on Kuminga makes more practical sense for the front office than committing multiple years and a higher figure to retain Hachimura. Some fans and observers who follow the team closely have pushed back on the idea of pursuing Kuminga on anything but a multi-year commitment, wary of repeating the kind of 1+1 prove-it structure that defined his lingering restricted free agency saga with Golden State a year ago, which ultimately ended with him being dealt to Atlanta before ever fully settling into a long-term role there. Others have argued that Hachimura, a proven shooter already familiar with Redick's system and comfortable playing off of Doncic and Reeves, represents the safer investment even at a higher price point, and that the wing defense Kuminga would provide, while valuable, isn't guaranteed given the inconsistency that has followed him for much of his career. Rob Pelinka, for his part, is facing considerable pressure to get this decision right. Having already reshaped large portions of the roster this summer, From the Kessler trade to the incoming free agent class, the fate of the final wing spot could go a long way toward determining just how competitive Los Angeles is capable of being in a stacked Western Conference that already includes the Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, and a retooled Denver Nuggets roster. A high upside swing on Kuminga, if it pays off, would give the Lakers a long, switchable defender who can guard multiple positions and finish above the rim in transition, precisely the kind of two-way difference maker the roster has lacked in recent years. But if his inconsistency and injury history follow him to Los Angeles the way it did in both Golden State and Atlanta, the Lakers could find themselves right back where they started, still searching for a reliable starting caliber wing to pair alongside their two all-star guards as the 2026-27 season approaches. If you've watched this far, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.